हरि करना।
So we have done an probability experiment. From the probability experiment, we got a possible outcome. So that possible outcome is your simple event, and the collection of these simple events are your sample space. So far, this is what we have seen, correct? Now let's take one step ahead, and we will be looking into a new concept called event. What we have seen so far is a simple event. Now we'll be seeing event or compound event. Event or compound event. So what's the difference, you will say? An event or a compound event is a collection of one or more simple events, and that can be decomposed. Okay, that's what is called event or compound event. Both are interchangeably. When we say event, that probably mean either compound event or just simple event, whatever it may be. But even if it is a simple event, we call it as an event. Even if it is a compound event, we call it as an event. But simple event is not the event, but event is a simple event. Okay, so an event in probability theory is a set of outcomes from the probability experiment. An event can be simple. I'm repeating, an event can be simple. Now whatever you see on the screen are the simple events. E1 is a simple event, E2 a simple event, E3 a simple event, E4 a simple event, E5 a simple event, E6 is also simple event. When you roll a single die, you roll a single die once. Okay, that's what is your simple event. Now, an event can be simple, meaning it consists of a single outcome. An event can be simple. Simple means it can consist of only single outcome. Single outcome. Here you have only single outcome. When you roll a single die, you will have a single outcome. So, or it can be composed of multiple outcomes. It can be composed of multiple outcomes known as compound event. Compound event. Now, an event which consists of E1, E3, E5 are known as event A. And other way we call it as an odd number. An odd number. You know, rolling a die and getting an odd number. Getting an odd number is your event, and getting an odd number is your event. And what all simple events it consists of: E1 which is 1, E3 which is 3, E5 which is 5. That's it. This is what we call it as a compound event. Compound event. Then just a minute. Yeah. Yep. This is second event, a number, event B, a number which is greater than 2. Obviously greater than 2. How many events, simple events we have? 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the reason an event, a compound event which consists of the numbers which are greater than 2 are E3, E4, E5, E6. And here are your events. Here are your simple events. So E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6 are the simple events. A is your compound event or just event. B is a compound event or just event. Just event. So a compound event is an event that's made up of more than one simple event. Simplistic way to put it. An event is a collection of one or more simple events. For example, if we roll a six-sided die, that event rolling an even number is a compound event made up of the simple events rolling a 2, rolling a 4, rolling a 6. Similarly, the event rolling a number less than 5 is a compound event made up of the simple events rolling a 1, rolling a 2, rolling a 3, rolling a 4. So, in probability theory, we assign probabilities to events. How do we calculate a probability? That we'll see in the next slide. But what I want to tell you here is, in probability we assign probabilities based on the events. So that is the reason, unless if you're not clear about what is event, what is simple event, what is compound event, you will never be able to perform probability calculations with ease. You always will be doing with a random pattern or just by hearting, nothing else. So that's the reason I'm taking that much of, I'm stressing up this event, compound event, the basics. That's why I want to make basics very clear for you before we do the calculations. I hope it's clear now. So I'm just repeating one more time. We have started with an probability experiment. You have done a probability experiment. Obviously, if you do a probability experiment, the outcome of the probability experiment is called a simple event. A simple event, when you put a simple event all together, a possible simple events in a set, we call it as a sample space. Once you have a sample space, once you have a simple events, you can make a compound events by bringing the simple events together, making subsets of simple events. That's what we call it as a compound event or just an event. So based on the event, we do the probability calculations.